What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. And in today's video we will meet my friend Liana, and she will share her story from being a volunteer to an employee in a museum. So please meet her. Hi Liana, thank you so much for being with me today and for sharing your story. And I know you're a very creative person full of ideas, but also I know that before you worked with the numbers and you was in charge of financial department. But when you moved to the United States, you decided to volunteer in a museum. So why you decided to change your career path so drastically? Why museum?
Yeah, I think couple of reasons why. So the first one, just because it was a dramatic move already from my home country, Russia, to United States. And another one, I always wanted to change my career, but I think it was like a little bit difficult for me to do it while living on my own in Moscow, very expensive city. So while moving here, I had an opportunity and my husband's support to try and do different things. So I decided to start volunteering in the museum to see if I even like it, because I've never worked in the museum before. So I also volunteered in Moscow, and yeah, I just stuck in the museum field. I'm just enjoying the experience. As a volunteer and now as a employee of one of the museums, which I also get a job through volunteering. So yeah, it's worked out, and yeah, I decided to just stay in the museum field and see how far I can go.
Wow, that's a very interesting story. So could you please tell me more about what you was doing as a volunteer and what are you doing right now as an employee?
Yeah, so I do work in one museum and I do volunteer still in another one. So I volunteer at San Jose Museum of Art, which is kind of the biggest museum in the area. So, and I found about it before moving here. I was just looking up it on Google, like all the local museums and what programs they have. And they have few programs, so you can do tours in the museum or at the museum, and you can also work with schools. So I joined the second one. What we do, we go to the classrooms with actual art prints, and it's called Let's Look at Art. So basically we're trying to encourage children or students to look at the artworks and to build their connection with the artworks, to share their experience and thoughts and ideas about what they see. And while doing so, they developed all important skills like communication, because they had to explain what they think, and critical thinking, because they had to kind of find the reasons why they think so. And yeah, this is very cool program, I would say. And in terms of time spent, I'm not sure if, the biggest part, I think I joined in January, so they had training from January till mid-March. So they taught us every techniques in yeah, the ways how to facilitate the conversation, because it's not like a lecture. You don't come to the classroom and you just don't pour ideas in the students' heads. It's the idea is that they will tell you, they will yeah, they will speak. And yeah, so they teach us how to do it. And most like the more the I would say in the beginning it was very difficult, because as a part of the training you had to experience what students will experience. So you had to, all the trainers, they would apply the same techniques on you, and you had to express yourself, talk a lot, and think about, build this connection, think about art, which was very difficult because language barrier. So it forced you to, yeah, to find more words to express yourself more clearly and build up your vocabulary. So I think it was great.
And did you had any background in the arts before?
I had a degree, so in art history, bachelor degree, and but again, like I got it in Russia. We don't really had any conversations about what we think, what we feel. All lectures, yeah, everything was just as a lecture. So you just have ideas about time period, what styles of art, artist names, locations, buildings names, so all of that, but nothing like, okay, what do you think about it? How do you feel about it? Do you like it or not? We never had any conversations like that. And here it's completely opposite. You don't even need to know the artist's name. You don't need to know. It's not, we as a part of the presentation, we don't share usually artists' names or artworks names until they ask, especially adults, they usually ask. For children's, they don't really care, maybe like older kids. But yeah, it's very different. It's more about your personal connection and experience, and not like who said what, how it's in the historical books or art history books. Yeah.
So basically anyone can volunteer there?
Exactly. And as part of the training and recruitment messages, they mentioned it all the time. You don't need to have any experience in art. So because really you don't need to share any information about it except for maybe your vision, or yeah, I would say you don't really need to know anything. And as part of the training, they go quickly through some elements of arts. So let's say how line or colors can influence how you see the artworks or what emotions you can get from it. So they will explain everything to you, but yeah, the main idea is just how you see it.
That's great. So do you see any benefits for yourself being a volunteer?
Oh yeah, it's a lot. First of all, I would say the experience of being in the classroom and seeing the reactions of the kids and all their comments. I'm all the time like, I had to start reading all the comments in some kind of books, because their creativity, they don't have these frames, they don't have these boundaries, and they come up with such amazing ideas, and you would be like, wow, I would never see this like in the same way as you did. So you have all these new refreshing ideas about art, especially like famous artworks, which you saw a lot of times, and you think that you know it already, but by showing it to younger kids, you have all these new ideas. Also, community, it's the biggest thing I gained from it, because I came here, I didn't know anyone, and immediately during the training I have friends. My best friends are also docents from this museum. So, and all other docents, we are also very, very warm atmosphere. It's all the time. We do have a lot of uh, other events like field trips, artist lectures, just study groups to keep learning more. And my microphone. uh, yeah, it's also opportunity for self-development, because I'm interested in art, so I want to learn more. And by participating in all this conversation and discussions, you're learning more, you're hearing more stories. And I would say you can have even new skills, because you can join board organization, so you can be a leader of the organization, create the vision where we should move. Or I joined this year, just joined the social media or like marketing team, so I'm learning how to use social media to promote our docent group. So yeah, you can, based on what you want and where you can try all the different areas and build new skills.
So basically you can develop your leadership skills.
Exactly, yeah.
So the last question. You mentioned before that you are an employee in the museum. Are you hiring? Are you hiring new volunteers, I mean?
Oh yeah, so a couple of things too. Because of COVID, we changed all the volunteering for the presentations. We do digital presentations now. So instead of going in person to the classroom, it's all online. You will still see all the students, but on your screen. And yeah, as a job, I also started, I mentioned, as a volunteer in another museum, but they had an opening position and just applied, and now I'm working there. In both museums, we're looking for volunteers, so you can either apply as a docent at San Jose Museum of Art, and training will start in January this 2021. It will be, I think it will be online, maybe partially, depending on situation. They can make a hybrid, but I think it will be online. But it doesn't really affect the slightly, I would say, because you won't see people in person, but you will still be able to meet new people and learn all these techniques and skills. And in our museum, in San Jose Museum of Quilts and Textiles, I've also all the time looking for volunteers, because now we do a lot of outreach, giving art supplies and art materials, craft projects for families. So we always need extra hands, yeah, to help to prepare them.
Thank you so much, Liana, for being with me today and for sharing your story. And I hope that this story will motivate more people to volunteer and find their path and maybe to change careers. Who knows?
Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, it was my pleasure and honor.
And if you like this video, please give me thumbs up and I'll catch you in the next videos. Bye!